Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is basically related to higher education. The topic is Rusa, that is Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. Through this video, we will learn what Rusa is, how does it function, the funding process, how does it implement, and what are the objectives, components, impacts and targets. So to understand this, let us first look back to the school education. By school education, we mean the education from class 1 to 12. Talking about school education, there are two schemes which have been very successful, which are SSA, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, and RMSA, the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. After the success of these two schemes, the Government of India, through the recommendation of MHRD, thinks on how to bring an improvement in the higher education sector as well. If we look back to the Kothari Commission, which came in 1964, and the new education policy 1986 gave some suggestions regarding the improvement of higher education. Seeing the suggestion of these two, it was realized to work on the higher education sector. With this idea, Rusa was born. So Rusa, which is also known as the National Higher Education Mission, was launched in 2013 with the aim of providing strategic funding to eligible state higher education institutions. So basically this scheme is based on funding to eligible state higher education institutions. So basically this scheme is based on funding to eligible state higher education institutions, and by higher education here we mean the education that we receive in colleges, universities and institutions. So through this scheme, funding is provided to the higher education institutions so that it can be reformed. It is the scheme of MHRD. It spreads across two planned periods. One is the 12 5-year plan, as we all know, from 2012 to 2017, and the 13 5-year plan, which is 2017 and 2022. The program focuses on state higher education institutions and draws upon the best universities across the nation. Next is emphasis on the improvement of the quality of teaching learning process. Previously here we were talking about the reforms in the whole of the higher education system. Secondly, it focuses on improving the quality of teaching learning process so that we get more and more employable and competitive graduates, postgraduates and PhD workforce in our country. Next is funding. So this scheme is a centrally sponsored scheme, and what happens in a centrally sponsored scheme is both the state and the center provides fund. The ratio can be different, as we can see on the screen: 60-40 for the general category states, 90-10 for the special category states. Basically hilly states and northeastern states belong to this category, and 100% for the union territories. The funding would flow from the central ministry to the state government or the union territories to the State Higher Education Council. We can see that there is a hierarchy here in the flow of the fund. First, it flows from the central government, obviously, to the state government, and in the state government there is a State Higher Education Council. Through this, whichever the identical institutions are there, funding will be provided to them. The funding to the state will be on the basis of critical appraisal. By critical appraisal we mean assessment. So whatever plan the state government have to tackle the issues of access and excellence in higher education, it will be assessed first and funding will be provided accordingly. Funding will be norm-based and outcome-dependent. By outcome-dependent, we mean performance of the students and the institutions. Future funding is decided on the basis of past achievement and utilization of funds submitted to MHRD. Next is objectives. The key objectives of Rusa are to improve access, equity and quality in higher education at the state level. The silent objectives of Rusa are to improve the quality of state institutions, which are colleges, universities and institutions. So how the quality will be improved? Only when they follow some prescribed norms and standards and adopt accreditation as a mandatory quality assurance framework. So we must have heard of the NAC, which is the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which is an autonomous body and UGC funded and whose headquarters is in Bangalore. So what this NAC does is, it is an organization which assess and accredit the higher education institution in India. By accrediting, it means providing recognition. For example, which colleges are A+, and B, and so on. Usher transformative reforms. There are 3 points here. Firstly, by creating facilitative institutional structure for planning and monitoring at the state level. So planning and monitoring is going on at the state level. Second is promoting autonomy in state universities. And third is improving governance in institutions. Ensure reforms in affiliation, academic and examination system. By affiliation here we mean, we must have heard some colleges used to be affiliated to a particular university. For example, colleges A and B are affiliated to this particular university. Next is ensure adequate availability of quality faculty. So it not only focuses on the improvement of the students and institution, but also the quality of teachers. Create an enabling atmosphere in the higher educational institutions to promote research and innovation. Expand institutional base and create additional capacity in existing institutions. So what happens often is, in some states there are only 1 or 2 universities. So the student, or say the people out there, will have to go to other states to pursue their higher education, or in some cases they do not continue their higher education at all. To tackle this problem, this scheme comes with expanding institutional base. By expanding institutional base, we mean establishing more universities in that state and creating capacity existing institutions. Suppose say there are only 40 capacity of students in a class, it will be expanded to 45, and the aim here is to achieve higher enrollment rate. Improve quality in higher education by providing adequate opportunities of higher education to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and socially and educationally backward classes. Promote inclusion of women, minorities, and differently able persons. Next is components. Upgradation of existing autonomous colleges to universities. By autonomous we mean independent. For example, the Maharani College have been upgraded to university in 2016. Conversion of colleges to cluster universities. By cluster university we mean that one major institution will be leading 3 to 5 institutions which are nearby. Infrastructure grants to universities. New model colleges. Infrastructure grants to colleges, research, innovation, and quality improvement, faculty improvement, vocationalization of higher education. Leadership development of educational administrators, institutional restructuring and reforms, capacity building and preparation of data collection and planning. Faculty recruitment support, upgradation of existing degree colleges to model colleges, new colleges. Now let us see the impacts and targets of Rusa. It seeks to increase the GER, that is the gross enrollment ratio, to 30% by 2020. It seeks to increase the spending on the higher education by the state government. So what we have to note here is that previously we were discussing about the spending of the center. Here we were discussing about the spending of the state. The scheme in its second phase, that is 2017 to 2020, we are in the second phase now, aims at creation of 70 new model degree colleges and 88 new professional colleges. Enhancing quality and excellence in 10 selected state universities and 70 autonomous colleges, providing infrastructural support to 50 universities and 750 colleges, to identify and fill up the existing gaps in higher education by augmenting and supporting the state government's effort. Promote a spirit of healthy competition in the state and the institutions. So unless and until there are healthy competition between the state and the institutions, quality cannot be improved. To excel in quality higher education, research and innovation. And here we can see the performance of Rusa till now. Infrastructure grants to colleges 1961, infrastructure grants to universities 140, new model degree colleges 130, the new universities that it have approved are 19. So that's all for today's presentation. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for listening.